This video is not really a video, it's just an audio on the I'm just talking about the title. I just talk about certain topics, whatever comes to my mind, I talk about it, and you'll get the idea of what I'm talking about from the title. Recently, I've been thinking about the whole cop thing. You know, the picture that's being painted of cops, especially in the black community. Everybody looks like cops, like scums. You know what I mean? They call them pigs. They call them all these other shit. You know, everybody's always cursing them out. Like a year ago, I remember going to a park to play basketball. It was a nice little area. Most of the people there are well off, wealthy, and the cops, they came around to patrol the area in their car, and these kids, African Americans, they probably like in middle school or freshmen or something in high school, and the cops are like all the way at the end, and they're just turning around and whatnot, and these kids, they sitting there screaming, "Fuck 12, fuck the cops, this and that," and I'm asking myself, like, why the hell is this kid doing that? Like, no cops have ever probably done anything to him, but he's sitting there thinking it's funny, sitting there screaming, "Fuck the cops, fuck this, fuck that." Like, why are you doing that? Is it because he listens to the type of music he listens to? They always say that in the music, and he thinks he's cool by doing that? Yeah, there's a chance that that might be it. But he's just going with the crowd, and you know, usually in the black community, for the most part, these kids, everybody seems to hate the cops. Meanwhile, what is the cop there for? Their job is to help you out. So if you're already sitting there from the minute you see somebody in uniform come around, you already have this attitude, you don't want to deal with them, you hate them, you cursing them out. What do you think that's doing to that person? You don't have you don't sit there and think like, wait, if they're coming to help me and I'm sitting there cursing them out, saying fuck 12, fuck this, you pig, this and that, don't you think then they might have they might get a little emotional and start doing something against you? So in a way, aren't you setting yourself up to be another statistic, like to be another person, another victim of police brutality? Because at the end of the day, what are cops? Cops are human beings just like you, with emotions just like you, right? They're just doing a job. The same way somebody, like you work at Target, Walmart or some shit, and you clock in, you are a Walmart employee. Well, that cop, he probably was John or whatever, and then he clocked in, put the uniform on, and he becomes a cop. He becomes officer, right? Just like you go at Walmart, you clock in, you throw your little vest on, and you become cashier at register 10 or some shit. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't want customers to come through and start disrespecting you, saying you stupid because you working over here. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they look at retail people like they're idiots, right? Especially Walmart. People tend to have an attitude when the line is long. The person is there first day or something. They're taking too long or something. They get agitated. They start cursing. They start doing all this. They go impatient. Well, somebody start acting like that. Most of y'all want to sit there and curse them out, right? Y'all want to curse the customers back. You know what I mean? Because you're like, yo, you ain't gonna come here and start disrespecting me and all that shit. You ain't gonna sit there and curse me out and all that shit, right? Some of y'all gonna be like, yo, I'm a real nigga, son. You ain't gonna come to my job, blah blah blah. Well, how about the cops? When they just come around, they ain't even do nothing to you, and you sitting there saying, fuck them, fuck this, fuck that, you pig, you this, you that, go eat some donuts, all that shit, and they ain't even do nothing to you. When you sitting there doing that, how do you think they will feel? Y'all don't think they gonna be a little emotional just like your ass wanna be emotional when a customer deals with you? Y'all don't think that way? Like maybe it's 'cause I have a negative attitude towards that cop. Maybe that shit will cause me to get shot, beat up, get a ticket. Because the thing with being a cop is a cop has discretion. Certain things you do, it's the cop's choice to whether give you a warning or actually give you a ticket and actually throwing your ass in the back of the fucking patrol car. Right? I mean, granted, certain shit you do, they have to arrest you. There ain't no choice. But other things, it's like they could just let it go and just give you a warning. I've been pulled over before. I knew I was gonna get pulled over because there was like two stops. I burned one because I saw there was no car there, so I burned it. I'm like, ain't nobody there. And then as I looked into further down the block, I seen a cop, and I'm like, oh well, he's gonna pull me over. And then he did, and he asked me like, yo, have you been pulled over before? You know, I stopped you. I'm like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, it's funny. I'm like, yeah, I know. I seen you. I knew he was gonna pull me over. Blah blah blah. And he's like, you know what? Since it was your first time being pulled over, you never did something stupid like that. You don't got no tickets. Your record is clean. Whatever. I'm gonna let you go off with a warning, but next time don't burn no stop, man. Because I wasn't even looking for people to burn the stop. I was looking for people speeding. You know what I mean? Like they have discretion. They could do that. But if the minute they pull you over, you already have an attitude. Now they're gonna be like, man, this what? Man, I'm giving you a ticket, man. Like I ain't gonna play with you. You sitting there disrespecting me. Like treat the person like a human being. They pull you over. Their job. They come up to you. They're like, how you doing today, sir? Blah blah blah. Do you know why I pulled you over? It's like a script they have. Like, do you know why I'm pulling you over and all that? Man, you guys, especially the black community, y'all want to sit there and just like hit them with that negative, like I don't want to be here. Why the fuck you stopping me for this and that? I ain't do nothing. You know how often cops hear that shit? There's never a time a cop will tell you, yo, I arrested somebody, and they was like, yep, you caught me. I did that. I'm guilty. It's not that often they get that. When they get that, they'll brag about it. They'll talk about it. Every time they arrest somebody, pull somebody over, whatever, I ain't do nothing wrong. First thing that comes out of everybody's mouth, I ain't do nothing wrong. So if you really get arrested and you sit and you really didn't do nothing wrong, you saying I didn't do nothing wrong is not gonna help your case. You might as well shut the fuck up and just go to the, you know what I mean? Just go with it. Cause they hear that shit from everybody. They'll catch the person with blood on their hands, and the motherfucker will still be like, I ain't do nothing wrong. Like the cops are supposed to believe it now. After a while of hearing guilty people sit there saying I ain't do nothing wrong, when somebody says I ain't do nothing wrong and they're actually innocent, you're not gonna believe it. But if we're gonna sit there like we upset as a black community and all that, we upset that we like, oh, the cops always look at black folks as criminals and whatnot. Well, if that's how we feel, right? Why do we in turn look at cops as a whole that they're trigger happy, they're likely to beat up people for no reason, all this and that? Like, why do we in turn look at them in a negative way, the same way that you claim that they're looking at you in a negative way? Basically, it's like fighting fire with fire. It's like, oh, this person is throwing fire at me, it burns. Oh, let me throw fire back at them, and then maybe he'll stop. Like, that doesn't really work. That's just gonna get both of you guys burnt. What was Martin Luther King's way of going about things? Being peaceful. Like, you can't sit there doing the same. You can't sit there harming somebody and then and then expect them to not try to harm you. Like, I don't know if y'all get it. Like, you upset at cops for treating you a certain way as a whole group because you sitting there saying all black folks are not criminals, but she's sitting there looking at cops, all cops like they're all criminals, and that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you look if you know not everybody in the black community is a drug dealer? Why would you sit there looking at every cop like they're gonna fucking beat your ass up for nothing? Like that doesn't make sense. But yeah, just like yo, stop giving these cops attitude, cause the same way you get mad when people give you attitude, they're people too. They'll get attitude. They'll be upset. They'll wanna react in a certain way. Granted, they should be able to control themselves more, but at the end of the day, cops are just human beings just like you. You clock in and you go flip burgers and you become a McDonald's worker. You become the cashier or the cook or whatever. Well, other people they clock in, they become officers. They just human beings just like you. They have family members just like you. And all of them, because they know the danger that comes with the job, at the end of the day, it's survival of the fittest. You trying to survive, they go to their job, they're not trying to be killed. They have family member that love them, they have family member that depends on them. So when shit happens, you not listening and they get scared, they like, oh shit, is this person about to kill me? Well, survival of the fittest. It's all about your life. It's all about you surviving. As a cop, you're gonna start busting shots. You're not gonna wait to figure out, oh, was this person really doing this or not. That's why anytime a cop pulls you over, it tells you to do something, you just do it. You don't do nothing extra, because by you doing something extra, you don't know how scared that person is of actually being shot, especially with today's society where everybody has such a hatred against them. They don't know anymore who's really gonna do something. You've had cases on the news where dudes, like, what's that guy that walked up on those two cops, the Chinese dude and the Asian, I said the Chinese, the Asian dude and the, I think it was the Spanish. He shot him in the head or something in their car. Like with stuff going on like that, anytime you tell somebody to do something, they don't do it. You already anxious. You already saying, "Oh my God, is today the day that I will die?" You're gonna be like, "Hell no, I'm not dying for this shit. I'm busting first." You feel me? So y'all gotta start thinking like this is how shit is going. At the end of the day, every officer is a human being just like you. You don't wanna die. You'd be like, "Yo, fuck this, fuck all this. I'm trying to survive. I don't know what you're talking about, right?" You're not gonna wait and tell people again and again and again and again. Some of y'all get hard headed. It's like y'all don't want to listen to the orders. And it's like, what are you doing? Now you scaring that cop. Now he's not gonna take the chance. Cause if you have a gun, you shoot him. He doesn't know what's gonna happen. Before like the bullet will hit him before he gets to react and say, "Oh, it was actually a gun you were trying to pull out. Okay, let me take mine out." You're not gonna have time to do all that shit. You throw a shot at him, he'll probably be done. So it's like before you do that, fuck it, I'm gonna get you first. That's all it is.